Welcome back, everyone, and thank you, Kryon. It's great to have your wisdom, and thank you, and welcome back. I'm so glad you were able to come to the show yet again, this time in English and before in Spanish. It takes a lot to do that particular thing, and that is to, you can be bilingual, but to have enough of it so that you can actually present in both languages is not common.
It's hard when you have a second language that you've learned to be able to do that. I admire anyone doing that. Yeah.
I do too. We've been so many places and watched that and seen that some can and some cannot, that we have a great appreciation of those who can.
Absolutely. So let's move into a circle of 12. What do you think, Lee?
Ready?
Yeah, me too. And as we prepare for the circle of 12, let's spend some time connecting in with each other. Let that feeling of connection build. You may even wish to place your hands on your heart and connect in with what's happening as we have this love build between us. And even if you think you're sitting there all alone, you truly are connected with the thousands that will tune into this experience, because they have given intent to be here, just like you have given intent to be here. No one's making you come. No one's making you sit down. No one's making you be part of the circle of 12. It is something you have chosen through your free choice. You've had a little nudge, perhaps, from your intuition to do this. Others have had their intuition jumping up and down and knowing immediately from the first time the circle was presented, yes, I have to be there. And so collectively, we are all wanting to experience more of who we are. And to help us experience more of who we are, we now participate in this meditation that is led by Kryon, and we invite those energies to come to us a little closer.
Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon. Come a little closer. The entire reason for the Circle of 12 is to empower you. That's it. So many times meditations are seen as a time you spend connecting to the other side of the veil, or to spirit, or whatever you say, is your way of saying, I am taking that which is my reality, and I'm going to spend time going beyond it. There's some who meditate just to meditate because it feels good, and yes, it does. Dear ones, again, your human body is designed to find the Creator. Did you ever think about that? If you take a look at the belief systems of the planet, over 85% of the planet all believe in some kind of creative source. Now, that is not indoctrination, that is intuition. And from a time, perhaps, when you could look at what any human believes anywhere on the planet, that thought has occurred to them. You're designed to look for the Creator. And so many of you get to that place where you say, part of what I truly enjoy is sitting and meditating. And I have sometimes, you might say, an out-of-body experience or an in-body experience that is so close to out-of-body, it feels so good. I know I'm in connection. This is not that kind of meditation. It's not even a guided meditation. It's not even a visualization. Here's why. Each of you has a soul, and that is real. It's not imaginary. That soul lays upon your humanness, you might say, in a mysterious way that you cannot understand, and it's not something that has been taught to you well. It's something that is just simply thrown out as a word. You have a soul, you come in, you leave. It's almost like accounting. And suddenly we are telling you something remarkable. The soul is the heart of everything, you might say, for a human. The soul is where love emanates from. The soul is the keeper often of Akash. That soul of yours has so much to know because it is eternal. It's been with you every single lifetime, the same one. And it's almost like you come and you go and you come and you go on this planet and it's never involved in your mind, in your reality. The circle of 12 is to get you to understand that perhaps, just perhaps, there is a bigger reality for you. It's not a meditation where you go someplace out of body. It's a meditation where you go someplace in body, where you stay there and you cross this imaginary bridge because it's all we can do to metaphorize going to that which is a multidimensional place from a linear place. And you go there and you open your eyes and you experience things that we are suggesting for you because they are real in their substance. Everything we have done so far in the circle of 12, in that theater, is a metaphor. But you experience it linearly, sitting in the chair, having that which is before you do something and talk to you or congratulate you, or all of these things that we have done have a form of reality, your reality. And that is what we want to show you. Perhaps there is more to that which you think is the real thing on this planet. Perhaps you open a door and you experience something that you never thought was actually you. And in these meditations, you realize you can bring it back to that which is the linear you and start using it. That's the whole purpose. That's why, we ask you to stay awake, to have an experience that shows you maybe, just maybe, there's actually more to you than you thought. This whole idea of the circle of 12 is a different kind of an idea than you've experienced before. Many times you may have visualizations that take you places through those who will meditate with you, or guided journeys someplace. But in this, we're asking you to see it as something you are doing, actually, as you sit in the chair, as you follow this, when you're with me. And the whole purpose of all of it is to enhance you. I said in the channel, if you could see yourselves as we do, it would take your breath away. That is how different the real you is from the you that you believe is there. We mentioned over and over, and we have, ever since we started channeling on this planet, that the blocks that you have to get through are remarkably thick. There are those of you who have awakened to metaphysics early, to an idea of past lives, an idea perhaps of karma, an idea perhaps of guides and angels, and so you are thinking out of the reality you have, out of the physics you have, meta, above, metaphysics. But in that, is there truly an awakening to your enormity? Or are you just echoing the knowledge of how you feel about things? Or admitting that, yes, there are greater things. You're working every day, perhaps with the law of attraction or creating that which is real for you. So you have some of these things down. In other words, you know how they work. Some of you have healed your bodies and you're actually truly in the process of awakening. But how many of you actually own the fact that you're magnificent? That each of you have miracles in your body waiting to be performed. That's the truth. Your body is built not only to search for the Creator, but to then find certain things in your reality, bring them to you, and live a very long life. It's so interesting. You find some of the ancients and some cultures have lived so long. In your day, living over 100 years, some up to 130 years, on a regular basis. And you go immediately to the linearity. Well, why is it? What are they eating? And that's the first thing you look at. Is how is this possible? What's their diet? Thinking that perhaps that's the key to long life. I will give you the answer. They've come from a culture that had no blocks. In other words, they were born into a culture that did not have the instructions that they were born dirty. And they went from there. And on their own, some of them saw that they had indeed a grandness about them because they were part of the cosmos. And they congratulated one another and worked together. And the result? Exceptionally long life. They didn't have the programs and the subconsciouses that you do that would tell them so many things are wrong with you that need fixing. So, dear ones, we speak to a culture and we know which ones we speak to. And we encourage you to understand that crossing the bridge and moving to that place is an invitation for you to see a grander truth, dropping the truths perhaps you already have, because they're not so grand. And as we've said before, and we'll say again, part of this is not for you to rewrite who you are, but to add to who you are. For some of you know already of the grandness of God, of the love that is there. Now it's time to see the rest of the story. And tonight, we do something absolutely, totally, and completely different. The bridge is there as it always is. We're going to cross into that unknown territory that you don't know about, but it is bigger than you are, that's eternal, that's you, it's your soul. We're about to journey into the bigger you. Take my hand, let's go. Come across this bridge into that place, if you wish to call it that is a multidimensional area, and you look around and you always see different things. Dear ones, this eternal soul of yours has no boundaries or barriers because it is not linear. It's part of the cosmos. Hard to explain to you, and display in your own minds how this would be working. You always want to have boundaries. Is it an island in the sky? You know, what is its size and all of that? And the answer is yes. It's not definable in any language that you have. What is definable is that it's part of the creative source. It's eternal. It's always been, it always will, and it belongs to you as you are a human. And if you believe that you have been on other planets doing what you do here now, and some of you have, it was there then. It's the real you. It has the real name that God knows. We're about ready to go in the theater, but wait. There's another door. Not the one to the theater in the round. There's another door. And this one is a movie theater where you're going to see some films with some others. I want you to walk into this movie theater and see a large screen, empty seats. You're the first to arrive. I'm asking you to go down the aisle and sit midway. Be comfortable with all the seats there. There's not just one chair on the stage. This time, many seats, they're empty. Please, take your seat in the middle and get ready for a marvelous movie experience. As soon as you're seated, appearing next to you, as if by magic, are three guides. One is to your left, one is sitting on the right side, one is immediately in back of you. This is a metaphor, dear ones. It's a metaphor of understanding, intuition, and protection by your guides. They got you covered. No bad thing will happen to you because they are there. They take your hands, and the theater begins to fill. Somehow, with those you think you've seen, somehow you think you've known, you recognize some friends, you recognize others. People you've loved and lost. Takes your breath away for a moment. But this is a multidimensional place. This is your soul where all of those things can materialize. If all souls are eternal, that means everyone you loved and lost is still there. They have their soul. They're just not on the planet with the name they had. But they're in this theater just for a moment, looking just like you knew they looked, and they're taking their seats. They're not even greeting you. They're just anxious to see the movie. What a movie. What could that be? And when all are seated, some you recognize, some you don't, and some you think you might have in the past, and you're scratching your head. The lights go dim, and the movie begins. And the first thing you see is your birth. You arrive on the planet, and immediately in the theater, there is cheering and applause. They're there to celebrate all of the good things that have happened to you in your life. They're there to celebrate the most joyful, funny times you've ever had with any of them. And it starts. And you start to see some of the funny things that you did as a child that your parents just loved and laughed at and howled because you were so cute and so funny. That time with the animal, the time with your toy, the time where you just look at you and go, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen. And it is uproarious. It is so fun, and you find yourself laughing and remembering, and everyone around you is having so much fun. Oh, then there were the parties that you had, the celebrations you had, even as you were growing up. Nothing on that screen was negative. It is a celebration only of the fun and the times that you told the right joke at the right time and they couldn't contain themselves, and the entire theater is breaking up with laughter. Your guides, you can feel them chuckling and moving. It's a celebration of you and the most joyful you that exists. And it's here being done for a reason, dear ones, to show you. Forget the bad stuff. There's so much good stuff in you. Forget all of the negative things that you ponder, that you worry about, that you are always constantly drawn to. This one is different. This is the majesty of you on the screen. And it goes, because there's so many funny things So much laughter, so much joy. Tears in people's eyes because they're having so much fun watching your life and the beauty and all the things that made you laugh. They're laughing with you. I want you to stay because this doesn't stop. The film continues because there's just more and more and more of it. Do you realize that joy is sacred? Do you realize that laughter is healing? I want you to have a big smile on your face as you sit there with your guides and all those around you. Because this continues, and when you think it's over and the circle of 12 music closes, I want you to take all of that home. And I want you to continue with the joy of the magnificence of who you are. Stay. And so it is.